because it's really safe to assume that we've all done it before. Well, let me rephrase that: we've done that an infinite amount of times. Now, when finding this information, I wasn't really shocked. It was more of a sudden realization that, according to American Psychological Association, 80 to 95% of students procrastinate in their work, mainly in schoolwork. So seeing this number, it kind of made me feel just a little better, because that means I wasn't the only person who was struggling with the same problem. Today, I'm going to tell you about the problems with procrastination, as well as some tips and advice that can help you manage it just a little bit better. I hope by the end of my speech you will realize that seeing the problem at hand means fixing it, not pushing it further away. To start off, you're probably thinking, well, I procrastinated and still managed to get into college. Well, that's true, but there's a limit where it just will not work anymore. According to Psychology Today, there are two types of procrastinators. The first one is resistant procrastination, where you have a task at hand, but you keep pushing it further back until you do it at the very last minute. The second one is refusal procrastination, where you keep pushing it back to the point where you literally never do it, where students mainly fall under the resistant procrastination. Not many people talk about this, but procrastination can lead to cancer. Does it impact it directly? No, it's more of a domino effect, as said by the National Institute of Health. Because it all starts with procrastination, which then leads to stress, and when you're stressed out, you do a lot of crazy things, such as over-drinking, overeating, drinking, and smoking, and those actions alone can cause cancer. So now, how do we solve it? Well, in order to solve the problem, we need to figure out why do we do it. So according to a counselor at the University of Florida Counseling and Wellness Center, she says that students mainly have a problem with perfectionism and just the overall lack of motivation. With perfectionism, people always want to have the perfect GPA, the perfect test scores, and the great position that they always wanted. But what mainly kills students the most is that they try to make themselves into something that they want others to see them, not how they want to be themselves. And with the lack of motivation, that motivation never really kicks in until the last minute, until that 11:59 p.m. assignment is due when it's already 11:30. So some of the tips that she gave me was to address the problems. For instance, if you have friends that just love to party all of the time, and they have yet to realize that a bachelor's and partying all of the time does not exist, you need to say no, because you need to realize that you do have work to do. And she also said to engage in planning, to make a system that will work specifically for you. People plan the daily time and the free time, and yes, it sounds like a lot, but that person isn't really complaining when she gets to sleep early and she has all of her work done. And you technically started doing this as well when you started making your classes, or you soon to make your classes for the spring schedule, where you say, this time is going to work for me, I need to have a job, or wait, I have a club to do, and so forth. So, according to Shirley Wang, a writer for Wall Street Journal who has a doctoral in clinical psychology from Yale University, wrote an article called "To Stop Procrastinating. Start by Understanding the Emotions Involved," talks about goal setting and breaking down your long-term goals into subsections. She even talks about having a reward system where you can have a little treat when you're done with the subsection, and then that'll further boost you to actually finishing the assignment overall. So let's talk about, give yourself a little treat, and then, so what happens when you don't listen to me and whatnot? So as a kid, I loved going on the trampoline, but in my mind I said, Virginia, do not fall. And of course, I fell down and there was no way of getting back up. And there's always kids around me that just love to jump because they love to see little Virginia struggle. So how does this relate to procrastination? Well, if you fall down just that one time, there is literally no way of you getting back up. You can replace those kids who just never wanted to stop with your professors, your schoolwork, your jobs, and your involvement. And if you just fall down, there is literally no way of you getting back up. So what happens if you do follow my plans? Well, I don't know about you, but I haven't had a good night's sleep since I was a fetus, and as a young adult, it may not be the same, but waking up every single morning and feeling rejuvenated is a relieving feeling, because I never have that all of the time. So this improves your memory, you have the ability to think a lot clearly, and you have a stronger immune system, as said by WebMD. So in the end, you can talk to a friend, a counselor, which one could be located at Farragut Hall or any hall depending on your college, and just talk about what are you over committing to? Do I need to prioritize my life and see the things that you need to drop quickly, or some things that you need to be more involved with? You can have a physical planner, but like me and myself, I have Google Calendar because I realistically have my phone on me all the time, so just pulling it up right away is always easier to do. And this is my class right now. Gotta draw one of those, but it's cool. So you can have Google Calendar, which I vouch for is a really, really great tool you can have, and it comes in an app as well. So yes, procrastination is hard to do, but you've all had that assignment where you said, well, I'm here right now, I might as well get it over with, and that's you already avoiding and managing your procrastination right then and there. So you are more than capable of doing so. So I hope that you know what the problem is with procrastination, as well as some tips and advice that can help you manage it. So if you have any questions, please let me know and I'll be here. Thank you.